What's going on, guys? Today's going to be a pretty sick feature. We have a hybrid quad. That's right. It's a 2005 YFZ450 with a 2004 YZ250 two-stroke motor, bringing it back to the roots, baby. That's the way the YFZ should have been made anyway. And definitely stick around to the end of the video where I'm going to give you a quick update on Project 250R and what to expect in Friday's video. And guys, don't forget to get your bling, man. Get your 250R bling. You're going to love it, man. I guarantee it, all right? Yo guys, what is up? Welcome to the ATV Revolution. We are coming back here. That's right, it is a 2005 YFZ450, and you guys can probably see why I chose this quad to be the bike of the week, because he made it a two-stroke, man. That's awesome. You know, I love four strokes too, but this is definitely a unique build, and I've seen it done before. It's not like the only time I've ever seen this done before. I actually considered doing this before I built my Banshee. Putting a YZ250 motor into a YFZ450 chassis. Definitely a really cool idea, but this is an even more unique story than just the quad itself. So first and foremost, the builder of this quad, or rather the idea for this quad, is by Eads00. It's Daniel Eads. Again, man, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your last name. But anyways, the Instagram handle is right here if you guys want to check him out. And basically, Daniel's passion is freestyle motocross. So Dan's been riding quads his whole life, and really his pop is what got him into riding. So when he was younger, his pop used to go riding, he used to do tricks and stuff and hit some pretty big jumps. And he would actually have Dan riding on the bike with him. And this is kind of cool here. Dan said, when I was 5, he would put me in front of him on his two-stroke dirt bike and jump some pretty sizable stuff. And he said I would do no handers and no footers. This is kind of like back in the day before freestyle motocross was a big thing. He said, I don't remember doing the tricks on the front of his bike, but at our local track, people used to ask him where the little trick boy was that rode with him. So you can see this stuff was instilled in his blood when he was young, but unfortunately, his mom found out what was going on, and he was no longer allowed to do that anymore. I know we can all relate to that, man. I love you, Ma. So anyways, Ma couldn't stop the passion. Around his 5th birthday, his pop bought him a Honda TRX 70. He started doing his riding, and he progressed throughout the years until he was about 16. So Dan was born with a condition called aortic stenosis, which is a heart condition. And he had to undergo open heart surgery when he was about 16 years old, and the doctor told him he was never gonna ride again. So you can see right here, he says, I was told I would never ride again. All this did was light a fire under me. So that really ignited the passion with him, and he just wanted to kill it no matter what the doctor could say. So props for that, man. That's awesome. So Dan took a year off after the heart surgery, and he came back to enter his first pro-level race. And he actually raced against Tim Farr. If you guys aren't familiar, he's one of the best riders of all time. He's definitely a top-tier rider. And so he got to race against him, which was like a dream come true. And he came in 2nd place, which is crazy. Tim Farr won the race. And that was like a huge dream come true for him because, you know, he grew up watching movies like Hoivos. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's basically they're awesome videos. It's like ATV, freestyle motocross, GNCC races. They're like the best ATV videos of all time, really. There's a series of them. I used to watch them as a kid too. They're pretty badass. And you can see right here, this is a picture of what Dan has on his wall, a bunch of the Hoivos videos. If you guys haven't watched them, definitely check them out. They're awesome. You can watch them on YouTube. If you type in Hoivos ATV, you'll see all of their videos posted on there. They're definitely worth a watch, whether you're into ATVs, bikes, or whatever. They're awesome videos. So Dan continued to race, and it just wasn't enough for him, man. Speed was not enough. He really wanted to catch air. So he grew up watching all these freestyle motocross videos, you know, stuff from the Krusty Tour, which is the Krusty Demons of Dirt, that featured Travis Pastrana. Those are awesome videos too. The Nuclear Cowboys, and the ATV Big Air Tour, which I just checked out, and it's freaking awesome. If you guys haven't, definitely check these videos out. So Dan decided to take the plunge. He invested in a freestyle motocross ramp, and you can see it right here. Currently, he does about 35-foot jumps, and he does some basic tricks. And I do have a couple videos. He'd like to work his way up to 75 foot and get into doing some crazy tricks. And his all-time dream is to become a part of the ATV Big Air Tour, which would be freaking badass, man. I wish you the best of luck. That would be awesome if you can do that. So now getting into the actual quad itself, I don't have too many details on the quad, but I've analyzed the pictures, and Dan did tell me some information about it. So he didn't actually build the quad himself. He wanted to give huge props to Eric Eads, who's his mechanic. I'm going to put his Instagram tag right here. He owns Driven One Designs, LLC. And his pop also was a huge part of this build. He even says, with the quad of the week, all I ask is that you give all props to my old man. All I was in the project were the ideas and the funds. Without him, this wouldn't be possible. So it's awesome that he's giving credit to his pops. But that's the reason I don't have too many details on the quad, because I think his pop and his mechanic were really responsible for customizing this thing and building it to be the way that it is. So that being said, I'm going to kind of walk you through these pictures and just kind of give my own analysis of this stuff. And it's got to be a good build, because he's doing jumps and stuff, even if it's not at a pro level. The kind of jumps that he's hitting and everything, if you're going to build something custom, it's got to be built well to be handling these jumps and still be safe. And he's been doing it for quite a while. You'll see he's actually done a rebuild twice with this thing and changed up the colors, so it's obviously held up. So right here you can see the original 05 YFZ450 frame. This is what they started with. You can see the YZ250 motor. It is an 04. Looks like it needs a little bit of work. Here it is. They are mocking it up in the frame. You can see he's got the exhaust running up here and everything. This is really interesting to me. This is the kind of stuff that's really fun to like engineer the way something's going to fit. And apparently they did all the customization, you know, modifying the swing arm, making custom motor mounts and everything, the exhaust, to make everything fit and look pretty much factory. So here is the motor up on the stand. They freshened it up, rebuilt it and everything. He put some Boyson covers on there. Some more mocking it up. I think that's his pop right there, and his mechanic. They're just, you can see they're kind of like scoping everything out. Another picture of the motor. Looks like it's been freshened up at this point. And you can see that two-stroke exhaust coming out the back, and everything looks to flow really nicely like it's supposed to. And here are the parts as they came in the mail. So these are stage 3s, Elkas, and he also has right here some full flight A-arms. And before you guys start talking crap on these parts, I know full flight is kind of like, I mean, the price is really good on these. You know, I've seen them on eBay. I've never actually run them before. I don't know too much about them personally, so I can't say too much on them. However, Dan said he has run Hauser A-arms with Fox floats and a number of other setups from his racing days, and he really likes these full flight A-arms and the Elka Stage 3s. They're standard travel, and he said when he sets them to a more stiff setting, that's what he really likes to jump with, and it's one of his favorite setups. So like I said, I can't speak from experience, but apparently this is a really good setup. He really likes it. And as we move on here, you can see he's got the suspension and everything on there with the yellow frame, some Nerf bars and whatnot, beadlock wheels, and he's got that extra long steering stem, and I'm assuming that's a freestyle motocross thing. And it's really starting to come together here. It looks pretty sick. And the quad is finally together here, and I mean, it looks like it was built this way from the factory. It's pretty awesome. It looks like the Pro Circuit pipe on there, I think that's a Pro Circuit. It looks like it fit in the frame perfectly, and it's just a trick looking quad. So Dan rode the quad the way it sits right here for a while, and then he decided to do a full rebuild on it. And you can see in these pictures, he made the frame black, still using the full flight A-arms and the Elkas. He rebuilt everything. And you can see right here, I think that's his pop again, doing some work on it. And if you take notice of the subframe, it looks like it's totally custom. Apparently, they designed and built this thing to accept the YZ250 motor. And there's a lot of stuff on this frame that's totally custom that they did themselves. It is not an aftermarket frame. And here are some pictures of the quad when it was done the second time around. I don't know, guys. You let me know. Do you think it looked better with the yellow and black or all blacked out? I'm kind of partial to the yellow and black, personally, but it still looks really good all blacked out. And what I really like here is the way that the exhaust lines up. A lot of times when you see these two-stroke conversions or hybrids, things kind of look out of place if you look closely. But this one, you know, the exhaust lines right up with the cutout in the back plastic. I think that's pretty trick and a good sign of good workmanship right there. So that's all I have for you guys on the hybrid quad. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have too many minute details about the build itself, because that would definitely be interesting. But it's a sweet build, and I really like that he's using that in freestyle motocross. I feel like most guys that are going to do that sport kind of use a stock format. They don't have a custom built or a hybrid bike. So that's pretty awesome. And he also is building some other quads right now. Right now he has a YFZ450R that he's building for his recreational and motocross use, because he has completely dedicated that hybrid to chasing his freestyle motocross dreams. So that is strictly his jumping bike. This YFZ450 looks pretty sweet right here. Anybody that has those knows they're top-notch bikes, especially the YFZ450Rs. So on top of this, Dan's also got a daughter and he wants to get her in the sport, so he is building her a quad. It's an Apex 90 MX Pro. You can see it right here. It's a little 90cc two-stroke, and you can see he's building it up with some pretty good parts. I do see a reservoir for an Elka rear shock. Looks like some extended A-arms on there. And he is currently in the process of building this thing. And what he plans to do is get her started on leisure riding and possibly progress her into ATV flat track and TT racing. He is getting a little bit ahead of himself though, because his daughter's only 6 months old, but he's just getting excited. That's awesome that he wants to get her into the sport. Hopefully she takes to it and it becomes a family thing like we saw in last week's Bike of the Week. So yeah, guys, that is it for this one, man. I think it's a pretty awesome story. I think the quad itself is really cool, but I think the story is even cooler. And just to pursue a sport like freestyle motocross is so other. It definitely takes a special kind of person. And I really, I wish you the best of luck, man. I think it's awesome that you overcame your open heart surgery and everything, and you're still pursuing your passion. And I wish you the best of luck, man. I hope you get to the ATV Big Air Tour and you're shredding it with all the pros. So in other news, I accidentally posted a shirtless selfie on my YouTube story, which I guess I butt posted that. But anyways, I saw it. It was up there for like 2 days. Whatever, man. And moving on to Project 250R, things are coming along. I am going to have an update video on that this Friday. We're just waiting for parts to come in. If you saw my Facebook update, that's what's going on. Basically, almost everything is here. I did hear back from ESR. Apparently, my motor package is complete, so that should be getting shipped out pretty soon, so it shouldn't be too much longer. And once that stuff comes in, I have the Nerf bars come in and everything. Then everything's going to go to powder coat, and we'll be able to start building the frame and whatnot. When the motor parts get here, we're going to do the tear down of the motor, and we'll start building the motor. Once the parts get here, like I said, it's going to start coming together. I know you guys are waiting for those building videos. I can't wait to get this thing started. And yeah, so that's what's going on with that, man. You can see the huge pile of parts I have right here. It's really difficult not to open these things up, but I like to open them up on camera so you guys can see exactly how things come packaged and whatnot, and just to see, my genuine reaction when I open these things up, because it is a super exciting time. I've never been able to afford all this kind of stuff and actually build a top-notch bike like I'm doing now. So it's a super exciting time. So yeah, guys, that's going to be in Friday's video. I'm going to be opening up these boxes and stuff, and we'll get to see the, I think the Fox suspension and stuff is in there. I know the Elka rear shock came because it says Elka on the box. Got some roll design parts, probably the A-arms and everything are in there. It's going to be really exciting to see. I did get some more parts from Nelson Precision Manufacturing and some other cool stuff. So yeah, guys, I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to send in your bike, quad, or trike for Bike of the Week. We have week 5 coming up next week. So until the next one, guys, you all rock. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.